Cryptocurrency holders need to know this before December 4th. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name is Neil, keeping technical analysis short and sweet as always, starting with Bitcoin. I don't know what the information is that you need to know before December 4th. It's just to get you to click. But we see Bitcoin pulled back. It did its second pullback, built a higher low. That's the main thing that we are looking at with this. We have about 10.5 hours left in the day to try and get a bullish engulfing, which means this candle needs to pull all the way up and close above this previous one. I doubt that's going to happen. It would be nice to see, because then that would mean the continuation to the bullish momentum side would be happening. However, we may start seeing a little bit of piecing in consolidation. The volume isn't that high for today. Yesterday it was pretty high. So we are just kind of waiting for this to start consolidating, building upwards, and eventually close above the 91,000. If that does not happen, the next stop we could be looking at is all the way down here at 74,000. I doubt it's going to go that low. Maybe 79,000, the previous low that we hit. But I think we have a lot of liquidity waiting down here. All this bearish momentum is because people had leverage trades for long. Everybody was thinking this was going to continue long right around here. And then we had market manipulation and complete liquidation of a lot of people's assets. And now they are trying to gather some more funds to be putting back into Bitcoin. For those of you who are just here for XCN, I know my iPad's going to lag a bunch, but there's nothing new with XCN. It's still holding within the wedge that has been placed. We did get a close lower than the previous low, which isn't the best sign. We may see a further low, which still has the possibility of 0.003 more or less. But again, liquidity is all down here, and we could see this get swept up, pull it right back to this red trend line, maybe consolidate underneath, or better yet, consolidate above this red trend line, and then start building up towards the 200 EMA. But for those of you who are here for XCN, check out the other videos. They're a little bit more informative of this in past week, and we're just kind of waiting it out. Keep in mind that I always bring up this for attention, that the 7th of April, we had the similar thing where we had the consolidation. We closed lower, but then still had some consolidation, closed lower yet again, and then immediate takeoff. So anything can happen in crypto. Hold your bags of XCN. Don't sell off if it starts going down, because you will regret it. I promise you, it's not financial advice, but main thing, look at the RSI. Like I said, we pushed up over the yellow. Had the consolidation, could potentially test this yellow as support. Imagine that, like the 200 EMA, and then pull up once more, maybe test it again. But overall, we are building higher lows. If you don't know what I mean by building higher lows, I'll try and draw a line for you. If my iPad will stop lagging, it's about like 8 seconds before it even registers what's happening. But I guess my line started up there. So we'll take this line and get rid of it and pull up a new line and start it from here. So building higher lows, we want to see that continuation. We don't want to see it go into the oversold again. It is still a possibility, but we could see it build up, come back, test even higher low, and then start building towards the overbought area. And the overbought area is going to be somewhere around here, around 0.008, roughly where that 200 EMA is coming down to greet it. We want to see this consolidate, thin out the CM guppy before we can hop over that and start making our way to the bullish side. I saw that my portfolio kind of went down quite a bit. I'm unsure what it was. Could have been XRP. I haven't checked yet. But Tornado Cash is still looking healthy. It's holding above $11. Not as healthy as it was a few weeks ago, but we are building higher lows still. So if we can keep this above this previous low, around 1143, we can expect a further continuation upwards. However, if it closes below that, the next stop is 11. If it happens to break 11, which I don't think it will, we could see a lower possibility. I think it would just be a liquidity sweep like we've seen in previous history, like back here in August 7th, similar thing. Major liquidity sweep all the way down to 8 before immediately pulling right back up above 11. So this is really the range that it can be testing within if it goes below $11. If you use the reference link for MEXC, you get 20 USDT for free, which you can use to buy Tornado Cash. I don't recommend using KYC, just stay incognito, use VPN for MEXC. But Tornado Cash is definitely one I would be recommending to pick up more, as it's not tradable on Coinbase, and MEXC has the lowest trading fee platform of any platform I've used, and they do giveaways, which is pretty cool. But keep in mind, this is not financial advice, it's not a money grab, it's not a pyramid scheme. I'm just trying to get you guys some free money and an amazing opportunity. This coin washes cryptocurrency, so if you're trying to remain anonymous, Tornado Cash is your go-to. XLM, if you're looking at XCN, look at XLM, because XLM is starting to build higher lows like we were just talking about yesterday. We want to see this close above this previous low, which it did, but it's not for sure. So we want to see a little bit more consolidation towards this downward trend line, which is right at the middle. We see we've gotten some pretty strong rejection by that middle line. So we may expect a little bit of rejection around here, because we also have a trend line from this base going to here, which is a previous support area and a previous resistance area. So we could be pushing back up, forming a W. And if we can get over this downward trend line, then we'd be working within this range between 0.31 and 0.267. RSI looks very healthy. It is a little bit oversold, which is good, because if it is oversold, it gives it more room to buy up and then start being overbought. When it's this low, you want it to be oversold, and it just gives it the opportunity to have a little bit more consolidation, get into a healthier RSI right around the 50. And if we can get over that 50, it would essentially be breaking this black downward trend line and having that continuation. So if you're buying XCN, you should be buying XLM and XRP. I keep stating it, I don't have enough XLM. I know it's got a good utility, and when XRP goes up, XLM will go up. When XLM goes up, XCN will go up. Maybe not in that order, but they will be working in correlation with the rest of the market. Bitcoin is pulling up from its previous drop as well. And we could just make this a bigger inverse head and shoulders like I was talking about, similar with Bitcoin, with its push up, that it would most likely have a pullback as well, because it was a very rapid push up, had that consolidation. This is on XRP, not Bitcoin, but it's very similar. Had the immediate pullback, trying to liquidate everybody who gained profits on that push up, but it built a higher low still, which is ideal to see for more bullish momentum. So if we can hold this area and then build a little bit more upwards, ideally we need to close above 222 to start pushing up and give us the opportunity to make it to 251. At 251, we are most likely going to get rejected and holding at 236 before pulling back up to 265. And once it gets to that area, we are more than likely going to be pushing up to the previous all-time high at around 360 more or less. Obviously getting a little bit of resistance here at 340. And once it gets above 360, it's price discovery. We are more than likely going to $5. So easy double money. But after $5, 50% retracement is my guesstimation. And then after that 50% retracement, giving you the opportunity to buy at the all-time high or the previous all-time high, the next step is $15 to $25. So $2 turning into over $20. Easy 10x, most reliable utility coin, highly recommended. Stack your bag of XRP for dollar cost averaging. And for those of you who want to donate, always accepting XRP. Keeping in mind 50% is going to save animals' lives. I also have the merch shop. I got to do a little bit more work on that, but shout out to whoever bought a t-shirt already. And I'm going to make it look a little bit better. I'm working. Woozall, shout out to you too. Thanks for the information on merchandising. I am going to take your advice, and I'm going to try and build something later today that will be a little bit more susceptible and look a little bit better for the people who want to buy merchandise. With all that being said, also I wanted to shout out to, Junior Carlos Nava for becoming a member. That's awesome. Now 2 members out of the nearly 900 people who are subscribed. You guys get a little bit more back-end info on other coins that you are recommending to get some information on, keeping in mind it's not financial advice. So shout out to you again, Junior Carlos Nava, as well as Tyler for joining the Patreon account as well. I will get you a video here later today on your request. But XRP, again, if I were a bear looking at this in the inverted scale, I'd be a little bit worried, as we did not close a higher high, or in their case, a lower low. So we could expect this to be a little bit of resistance here for the bears. And if you look at that, let's go back to this. That is an upward wedge, so we could see this drop again if it does not break this trend line. Keeping all that in mind, let's move on. ALCX, QNT, and Dash with a laggy iPad. Ooh, ALCX is doing a little bit better, but the one thing I would look at, even though it does look good, like I was talking about previously, that we needed to, well, I guess that's a way high point, that we needed to break the downward trend line. This is a prime example of a potential head and shoulders pattern. So just like I was explaining with XRP, this could be going the opposite way. So if this does not create a higher high or even consolidate above the 200 EMA, we are more than likely going to be pushing under that 200 EMA and having a further pullback for ALCX. So, if you're in ALCX, we have a wick off here. We have a wick off here, meaning there's some selling pressure pushing this, trying to get it underneath that 200 EMA. Don't sell your bag if you're in the red, because I believe it's going to be a pretty quick pullback. If it does pull back, testing this as support. And this is also support here at 690. And then we could start seeing it easily pull back up over that 200 EMA. And then ideally we need to close above that $11 mark to start seeing some more bullish momentum. But ALCX, even though it does look good, it can be a little bit bearish if Bitcoin does another pullback. But I don't think Bitcoin's going to be pulling back too heavily. The one you guys should be keeping an eye on, I know you are, Aaron, is QNT. QNT is looking very good. Similar to like I was talking about Tornado Cash for the past couple months. If this will ever load, QNT is starting to get wick-offs on the bottom, meaning it's more bullish. Let's go. Come on. I try to keep these videos underneath 10 minutes. Sometimes they double that. And with this laggy iPad, they're definitely going to continue to be longer for no reason. But looking at the volume picked up, and just like I was explaining yesterday, we had a very big green bar here on November 30th, and this red bar in the volume, let me pull this down a little bit so you can see that. Down here, this is the volume, meaning there's a lot of money being pumped into QNT at this moment. The other day, the red bar was here right around this area, and I said we needed to close above the previous green bar, whether it's red or green. There's a lot of volume pumping in. So even though it is red, meaning it was bearish, it is above the previous volume, which is this candle, and we had this major wick off. So people were selling, trying to get it below that 200 EMA, and people bought it right back up, trying to close above the previous high. We have a sell-off again, sell, and immediate buy back right up to the almost previous high, being right around 102. So even though this is selling off, the volume is picking up, it is holding above the 200 EMA. It's not a for sure, but if you haven't entered QNT, now it's looking pretty damn good. because we want to see it hold above the 200 EMA. Volume looks great. The only thing that's concerning is the RSI. RSI is a little bit overbought, so we do want to see a little bit of consolidation, and consolidation will bring this back down towards the 50 and this yellow line right here. But even if we cross over that yellow line, as long as we pull back up above this previous low here at the 37, we can be seeing it pull back up, get a little bit pulled back again over the yellow line, forming a W like we've seen back here. See, we pulled up, pulled back underneath the line, pulled up, pulled down again, and then we crossed that yellow line. And looking at the chart, we immediately got bullish momentum. So that's what we can expect with this, a pullback, up, pull back, up, and then the bullish momentum. It does not matter if it becomes overbought, because that overbuy will push this up to around 124 or at least 109. And if we can close at that 109, 110 area, then we are looking at the 120 to 124 area. More than likely going to get a little resistance at the 124 before we break it and push up. If we can close above that 135, then this entire couple months we've been waiting for QNT to break out will eventually come to fruition. And once it breaks out over that 135, you're looking at resistance at 149, 160 to 171. But if you haven't entered QNT, it's looking pretty damn good. Make sure it is starting to give you a little bit more visual of a bullish formation. Ideally needing to close above that 102. If you're eyeballing this and it gets to 102 and it start building more volume and pressure, you can expect a bullish continuation. Volumes decreasing, prices increasing, divergence. Very good key factor, especially with everything that's playing out right now, breaking out of a channel. Everything is looking very, very good for QNT. And then the last one, for those of you who are here for XCN, sorry, I mean, there's nothing new. As a day trader, there's sometimes patience is a virtue, and you gotta have a lot of patience. Yep, Dash got rejected by that downward trend line and is having a continuation downwards. So it can be heading all the way back to $19. For those of you who did not heed my opinion and stated do not enter at 128, sorry. I hope you saw my video earlier, because I was stating we were more than likely going to see a pullback. There was that little blip here in the mid of November where we had a push up. That was more of a scalp trade for those people who saw that we were building a little bit of support. And once it got over that 70, you could have scalped a little bit, 70 to almost $100 or more. Pretty good risk to reward and ROI on that. But immediate pullback, liquidating everybody who did not sell off, tried testing the downward trend line again, pulled back even further. Like I stated previously, we are more than likely going to be testing that 200 EMA or potentially even lower. So there's still a possibility for Dash to continue lower and give you a better buying opportunity. So if you didn't enter Dash like I didn't, for anybody who donates or sends me money, I'm probably going to be looking at entering Dash or building a bigger bag of QNT XLM. I need to do more XLM for sure. But like and subscribe, donate if you want. 50% goes to save animals' lives. Buy some merch if you want. I'll make it a little bit more snazzy and more of my style. And I will see you guys on the next one, or check out Patreon. That's another kind of YouTube thing to be looking at. So good luck. Have fun with it. I will see you on the next one.